Tell the truth. Have you ever said to yourself, I can't raise my prices because I'll lose all my clients? Well, I hear it all the time. As a business coach and pricing strategist, when I speak to business owners, most often they want to make more money. And one of the fastest ways to make more is to raise your prices. But when I say that, we get a big ooh. And that's exactly why I put together this episode today. It's called Three Reasons Why Your Clients Won't Leave If, and I've changed that to when, you raise your prices. My name is Miki Wright, and I want to welcome you to Your Pricing Matters. I wanted to come here because people have a lot of questions about pricing. And one of the biggest fears that comes up almost every time I start talking about pricing is, well, I can't raise my prices because all of my clients will leave. And so that is why I'm doing this conversation, just wanting to go through a few things with you because it's something that for some reason, it's like we've got it in our head. We believe it. We believe it with our heart and soul. And we, hang on to it like, oh my God, no, this can't happen. I can't lose all my clients. I can't raise my prices because that's exactly what will happen. But as I shared earlier this week, when I was being interviewed on the Business Beauty Network podcast with Brandy Taylor, when I ask people like, well, how many people do you know that actually happened to? And they're looking around like, oh, wow, I can't really think of anyone. And that's usually the case. Maybe they'll come up with someone that they know or heard of or something that lost all their clients. But for the most part, it's not true. And just because we believe something doesn't make it true. And so it's about shattering some of those, what I call limiting beliefs or self-limiting beliefs that we have that are holding us back, because it's like there's this great big business out here. We're part of this billion-dollar industry, and we have the opportunity to create a great life within the beauty industry. And then I work with people who are in the therapist arena, the medical profession, doctors, etc., who are freelancers who set their own rates, and they're still cautiously setting them because they're scared, people won't come or they will stop coming. There's no basis for it in truth. And so I want to help you kind of start the process of like, oh, okay, maybe there's another option. Maybe you don't have to give it all up tonight, your fears or what have you, but it's like there may be a different option. About 3 years ago on the Memorial Day weekend, it's like it was actually the Sunday of that. And I went to a big box store and I was like, oh, I'm just going to pick up some things. And I'm thinking everybody's already at the picnic, right? And I couldn't have been more wrong. When I got there, the parking lot was filled and it was like, whoa. I looked around and I just imagined everything that would go on when I got inside. So it's like, parking way back somewhere, hiking in to the actual store. Then you get in the store and it's like the size of a football field. And so you've got to navigate all of that. You've got lots of people, trying to kind of almost get to the same things at the same times. And then there's always, a child that's not happy that they're shopping and they're screaming at the top of their lungs. And, you navigate, you get all your stuff together. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready to check out, ready to go. And then there's a huge line. And then, you stand in the line and, maybe you had a question while you were shopping and there was no one there to answer it, or the person that you finally found didn't have any answers and really, may have not been that interested in helping you find the answers. And, when I thought about the checkout and how long it was going to be, it was just like, no, I can't do this. And so I circled back through the parking lot and I went to a local grocery store that would be considered, I guess you could say, high end. And I was gladly there, gladly willing to spend twice as much as I would have paid at the big box store because I can park close by. I can get in and out. There are people there who are, knowledgeable and happy to help me. The layout is really great. The way that everything looks is pretty, the lighting and the fruits and veggies and all that kind of good stuff, are very appealing and appetizing. And there's not so much to wade through. I can get through the store. It's much smaller. Get the things that I need, and I can get checked out. And there's usually either not a line or it's just a couple people in the line. And so it's like, absolutely worth it to me, to spend more to get the convenience, to get the quick in and out, to get the service, to get the quality of everything. And so I share that because a lot of you think that your clients just come to you because of price. And I can tell you that that is not true. And the first reason it's not true is because they come to you for more than price. So they're looking at, is it convenient to where I live or where I work? And maybe, they followed you around. I've had clients that have followed me when I've changed locations, which I don't recommend just, willy-nilly changing a lot of locations, but I've been grateful to have had clients who have followed me at different times. And maybe it wasn't as convenient for them. So there may have been other reasons that they came. They liked that I would get them in and out. They liked that I remembered, what we talked about last time and remember their kids. And, this one went to college and this one lost their tooth and, all of those types of things. And, they like that I have their color formulas, like I know what it was and I can make recommendations and say, we can do that, or maybe we can do something more, exciting for this particular season. They like that I may have a hair plan for them. There's all kinds of reasons that they come to you and that they've come to me. And maybe one of them is price and maybe not. So, so people pay for what they want. And it doesn't even always make sense what people pay for. But I would bet that most of your clients are paying for some things that you might feel are frivolous. I would bet that they're paying for other things that may seem even a little extravagant to you, all sometimes at the same times when they're asking you to give them a break or give them a deal, hook a sister up kind of thing. It's not making sense really, but we fall for it. So many times we fall for it. It's like they've got designer shoes and designer purse and a designer suit, and they come in after working at their nice job where that they make a decent amount of money, and they are, talking about their next vacation or getaway, what they're doing for the holidays, what they're doing for the kids, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's like, oh, well, it's like, I really can't afford to come in, this, that, and the other. And it's like, they can. And most of the time, I'm adding this in, throwing this in, but a lot of times people will question their prices, which is part of why I do what I do in terms of helping people gain the confidence to be able to set, raise, and communicate their prices without the fear and without the guilt. They will say, wow, that's expensive. And so what's your reaction when I say that, wow, your prices are kind of expensive. And the thing that most people miss is that that's a statement. It's not a question. There's no real response needed. It's like, oh, okay. You could ask the question back, it's like, oh, really? What makes you think that? What makes you say that? But a lot of times I've had people say, it's like, oh, you're expensive. Wow. And I just say, it's like, I guess you could say that, but then they reschedule an appointment. They know how much it will be. And it's just a statement. They're talking it through, thinking it through in their own head to see whether they're going to make that decision to spend it or not. And, they can decide what's expensive to them, and they can decide if what I provide or you provide is of value based on the price. But that number one thing is that they come to you for more than price. So keep that in mind. The two thing is that they don't come for just price. And I can tell you that pretty much for sure, if you have clients that come to you on any kind of regular basis, they come to you once a month, they come to you every 2 weeks, they come to you every 6 weeks, however often it is that they come to you, they come back to you. That I can tell you is not based just on price. It may be a factor, it may or may not, but it's like when they come to you, that is a sign. People who shop price, they are not loyal. They are going where they can find the cheapest bargain this time. They're getting on Groupon next time. They're, asking their friend, well, how much was yours? It's like, okay. It's like, I'm gonna go there. And so they're all over the place. They have no consistency. They're not your loyal clients. And they are just shopping price. And what we sell isn't really a commodity. It's not like, okay, well, if I can get it at Walmart for less than I can get it at Target, maybe I'm going to Walmart. because it's nails or something like that. It's like you hammer in nails and it really doesn't matter which store they come from. And maybe they've all been manufactured in the same plant. But what we sell is not a commodity. And so it's, they're sacrificing quality, maybe professionalism, all kinds of things to get the price that they want. But those are not the clients that are coming to you on a regular basis. And the ones that are coming to you on a regular basis are not coming to you for only price. So those two may sound similar, maybe even the same, but they're a little bit different. So I hope that you got the difference. And then the third thing or third reason is we think, oh my God, it's like they're going to freak out when I tell them that I'm going to have a price change or price increase. And I actually have a client that I'm coaching, and the first person that she told was that person. And she just was like, and what do you mean you're raising your price and this, that, and the other? And I don't think I'm going to be able to come and this. And it was like she spewed out like every fear that the stylist had about raising her prices came out from that one person. And then someone that person knows came in. It was, a short day, and she was just doing a couple people kind of as a favor. And, the second person was a little bit more like, oh, okay. It's like, that doesn't sound too bad. Once she found out she wasn't getting on the amen corner with her friend, but it was kind of great. It's like, it was not a good experience for her, needless to say. And it made her quake in her boots and question whether she should, whether now is the time to raise her prices. And it's like, yes, absolutely. Now is the time to raise your prices. She's already thrown at you everything she could throw at you, and everything anyone else could throw at you. And you handled it wonderfully. And you may feel nervous inside, but you stood your ground and you're moving forward. And from that point on, it's like the rest of her week, everybody was pretty much like, oh, okay. And some people may be like, oh, well, I have to see what I'm going to do if I'm going to be able to come in as frequently or this, that, and the other. And those are options that people have. So it's nothing to be freaked out about. Whatever they can throw at you, it's like, it's still, for the most part, your clients are expecting you to go up on your prices. And especially if you have not gone up on them for a while. I just met with one of my grads, and she's the person that I know personally who has the longest record of not raising their prices. And it's about 15 years before she raised her prices. And she said she just got stuck at one number and she just kept it going. And it was killing her. And her mom was telling her, it's like, you need to go up on your prices. And she just, for whatever reason, couldn't. And when, she came and joined our program and started implementing everything, and she's like, her clients were like, we were wondering when you were going to raise your prices. And she was very, very almost upset. Like, what do you think you were waiting for me to raise my prices? And you never said anything. But the clients know that this is a business transaction. It's like, for us, we definitely, create great relationships. We get to know more than most people know about most people with our clients. We see them more frequently than a lot of, other professionals would ever see them. And so there is this relationship that forms, but it truly is a client professional relationship that is forming. And we sometimes, think it's like, oh, that's my friend, because they think that we're their friend, which is great. But usually it's a one-sided relationship. They're coming to you to talk to you about what's going on for them. And they want their hair done or whatever service it is that you're providing for them done. They want it done timely. They have, if it comes to a point where they're inconvenienced to be able to see you, they're going to see someone else. And so it's not as personal as sometimes we make it. And the clients understand that it's a business transaction and they're paying for a service. And so when you pay for a service, or for a product for that matter, you expect at some point, the prices are probably going to go up. And right now the prices are going up on everything, or have gone up on everything. It's not even going. And in fact, some of them are starting to come down a little bit, which is really great. But for the most part, things are definitely much more expensive than they were. And so the clients are expecting that, your prices are going to go up. And so it's not a surprise. It's not a shock. It's not, whatever it is. And it may to them feel like sticker shock, but it's like, usually they are not surprised per se. So those are the three reasons why most of your clients won't go anywhere. It's like I'd say 80 to 90% of clients probably remain with what I, teach, because I give you what to say, how to say, why, all of the ups and downs and ins and outs to make it as smooth as possible and have as little pushback as possible. And I can tell you, there's probably one person you're dreading. Maybe there's two, maybe there's three, but there's one or two people that you're dreading telling because they're always on you. They're always, negative Nancy. They're always, what are you doing now? How much is this? I don't want to add that because, it's like, I'll just stay with the basics. And I had one stylist, client, student, all of the above, who was, terrified really of one of her clients. And, we got her to the point where she was ready to handle her, and it went much smoother than she anticipated. And so it's really great to see those things. So I'm going to wrap up now. So thank you for joining us. I really hope that you enjoy this. And if you are getting value out of it, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this content with any other business owner that it may be helpful for.